All right, welcome back to the Digital Web Kings podcast. This show is for people who are serious about building real income online, not chasing hype, not guessing, and not starting over every single year. Whether you're brand new to side hustles or you've already tried a few that didn't pan out, this podcast exists to break down how it actually works. Simply, honestly, and without a whole bunch of fluff. My name is Cory Hemminger. And on the show, we talk about income systems, affiliate marketing, leverage, automation, and how to build multiple income streams that actually work together. So let's talk about it. If you've ever looked at your side hustle and thought, this should be working by now, then this episode is going to be for you. Because in most cases, the side hustle itself isn't broken. What's broken is the strategy behind it. Or more like the strategy behind it was never even there. But once you understand the difference, everything about that changes. Now, in episode 1, we talked about why most side hustles fail and why it's not your fault. And today I want to get into that a little bit further, because after you realize that you were never really shown how it works, the question is always going to be the same. What am I doing wrong? And the answer to that usually surprises people. The big misconception that is out there is most people think that strategy means working harder. It means posting more. It means learning more tools, joining something new, adding something different. But strategy isn't about effort. Strategy is about order. Doing the right things in the right sequence instead of doing everything all at once and hoping that something sticks. When people think that their side hustle is broken, here's what typically happens. Someone starts a side hustle, right? They're motivated, they're excited, they follow the instructions that they're given. You go out there and you post links everywhere, you watch trainings, and you stay consistent, right? You post everywhere like they tell you to do. You make your videos, you make your shorts, you make your long YouTube videos, and you post to everything you can think of to post to, which is important. But like I always say, that can't be it. That can't be everything. If you have one piece, it's not going to fit a whole picture together. One piece doesn't make a whole puzzle. It's a pretty boring puzzle if it's only got one piece, right? So you need pieces that actually fit together, because if you have a puzzle with a bunch of pieces that don't fit together, you're gonna end up pulling your hair out. I mean, I don't really like puzzles anyways, but when results don't usually come in though, most people assume that they're either doing something wrong or the side hustle doesn't work. Usually, you throw your hands up and you're like, I know I did it in the past before I understood all of this. I threw my hands up, literally throw my hands up in the air, but I was just like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And the people that are saying that it works are lying. I've been there. I've been there countless times until I finally understood that it just wasn't making sense. What I usually found was missing was just the strategy that actually supports growth. A side hustle without a foundation is like building a house on sand. You can add tools, you can add effort, and you can add motivation. You can keep on posting and you can increase how much you post and how much you share your link and everything like that. But without a solid base, nothing is going to hold. So most people are introduced to earning income online backwards, right? You start with promotion before you understand traffic. You start with links before you understand the system. And you start with hustle before you understand leverage. And that's why it never goes anywhere. That's why it never grows anywhere. Activity does not equal progress. It's one of the biggest traps that people fall into. If you're busy, you feel productive, right? I posted 15 videos today. I posted 10 videos to 10 different platforms. I sent messages everywhere. I sent thousands of emails by clicking 3 buttons. We're going to get into emails in a future episode. That's going to be a whole topic all by itself, because I can tell you how to be successful with email marketing when it comes to affiliate marketing. You can be successful with it, I promise you, but you have to do it correctly. But sending messages, posting more content, watching videos, watching other people's videos and seeing what's working for other people, that does not equal progress. Activity is not the same thing as progress. Progress comes from doing fewer things better in the correct order. But nobody ever explains that part, right? I mean, if you don't see these things and you haven't gone through all of this yet, then learn from what I've done, because I'm telling you, I spun my wheels for years and I finally understood this stuff. And that's why I started this podcast, is because I wanted to help people who are just starting out not waste years. And I wanted to help people who were uh, always thinking that they were doing something wrong, so they tried another side hustle, right? And a lot of strategies work in the short term, right? You get a sale here, you get a sale there, you get a small win here, maybe you make a couple of $100 in 1 week, and you feel good. You feel, it makes you feel good. So you're more motivated, you start posting more, but it doesn't scale, it doesn't duplicate, it just doesn't last. And that's why people constantly feel like they're starting over. Not because you failed, but because the strategy was never built to grow. So the shift happens when you stop asking, how do I make money today? How do I make $200 today? And you start asking, is this going to be working 6 months from now? Or am I going to be doing the same thing for the same amount of money 6 months from now? Because honestly, if that's how it is, that's a job. I mean, you didn't start your own business. You started another job, right? You're just going to keep doing the same exact things over and over again, and it's never going to grow. It's never going to scale. It's never going to get anywhere down the road, which is the ultimate goal, right? You don't want to be working forever. We all want that passive income. We all want that income where no matter what, you're going to get a check, and it's not just going to be, a $60 check here or a $150 check there, right? You want checks that are going to be able to support you. You want checks that are actually going to be able to pay your bills and have some extra money left over and not be struggling paycheck to paycheck. That's why we're all here. That's why you're listening to this podcast. So when you understand strategy and you start thinking systems instead of tactics, it means understanding how traffic, automation, and income streams all connect instead of treating everything as a one-off effort. And this matters, like I said, for both new and experienced people, because if you're brand new, it matters because you can avoid years of that frustration, years of starting over again every single year, looking at your side hustle and thinking, well, just selling this stuff isn't for me. It's not working. I can't do it. My videos aren't working. I'm not getting views. I'm not getting leads. I'm not getting this and I'm not getting that. So you can avoid all that. And if you understand traffic, that's the number one thing that you have to understand. And when you understand it, it's easy to get. And when you understand traffic and you understand conversions and you understand how systems actually work, that's why we're here. It makes things so much easier, right? And if you've been around for a while, it explains why that hasn't been happening for you. It explains why you've been having to start over. So it's two different starting points: brand new people and people that have been around forever, still starting over again, over and over and over again, every single year. It's the same missing piece, even though it's two different starting points. It's strategy. It's all about strategy. And what we're going to end up breaking down in further episodes, we're going to break it down piece by piece. I'm going to go over all of this piece by piece. One of the main things that I want to do, I'm going to do an entire episode on emails for you guys, because I've gotten probably more traffic from emails than posting to social media, honestly. I mean, yes, we get traffic from social media. I'm not saying don't go out there and post videos. I'm not saying don't go out there and stay consistent. But what I'm saying is you need to understand that that cannot be the only thing that you do. It's just not going to work. And email marketing is not dead. It is, look, the spam filters that everybody fights, I'm telling you, it is not hard to get around that stuff. There is all kinds of tools out there that you can use. But if you try to use the tools without the foundation, it's just going to fall apart. You're just going to be doing the same thing every day. And if you go into these lead sites and you're using these auto emailers, you're using it wrong. I talked to somebody that said, he used the same lead system that I'm using, the same lead system he had already tried. And he told me that he sent hundreds of thousands of emails and barely got any leads from it. Because you hook the trackers up to it, right? You hook the trackers up and you can tell where the leads are coming from. So, and it tells you, who opened the emails and who clicked on the links and all of that stuff. So this guy tells me that he sent hundreds of thousands of emails through this lead system, and he never really saw a result. It just didn't work. I started the same lead system, but I understood how strategy works. I understood how the foundation needed to fit the tools, how the tools needed to fit the foundation. I figured that out. So I came at the whole deal a little differently. And within the first 400 messages that I sent, within the first 400 emails that I sent, I got response. I got signups, and I continued to get sales from it. I continued to get signups from it. So Going into these auto emailers and clicking 3 buttons and sending 10,000 emails, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. But there's a way around it. And I'm going off on a tangent here. And I knew I would do that. I went off script. But we're going to get into that further in different episodes. We're going to break it down piece by piece, right? I want to talk about the foundation. I want to talk about traffic. I want to talk about the most important thing that I think is involved. And, even my mentor, all of you guys know who my mentor is. Even he says, Bill says, it's not about the product. It's about the compensation structure is the number one product. That is your number one thing. If you're doing work and you're selling something for $2,000 and you're getting paid $200, why would you even get out of bed for that? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into compensation structures, but I gotta make sure that you understand structure, strategy, and foundations and traffic first, and then we'll get into compensation structures, and we'll break down the whole binary matrices and how you have to place correctly at a certain time to get paid in some compensation structures. There's some out there that just are so convoluted, they drive you mad. Trying to understand it just makes you mad. And a lot of people, they think, well, it works because people are getting paid from it, so the compensation plan must be good. And that is another terrible mistake that people make. So we're going to get into that, right? We're going to talk about automation. We're going to talk about how to automate stuff. We're going to talk about emails. I really want to go into emails. I really want to go into that. But we're going to talk about how multiple income streams are supposed to work together, not compete with each other. So you don't want to be out there trying to sell 2 different things to 2 different groups of people. You're doubling your work when you could have one foundation with income streams that all connect, that all work together, and you can just duplicate the results over and over and over again. And one system leads to somebody, making another purchase and buying something else, and another tool and another tool and another tool. But as long as the tools complement each other, and as long as they grow that foundation and they support that foundation, then it's good. But if you're adding tools that have nothing to do with it, then if you're going to be adding a different type of marketing, if you're going to go out there and add voicemail messaging for something completely different, then you're just breaking off in a whole different avenue that if you're just starting out, you're definitely not ready for. So you got to get a foundation built, and I want to help you do that. And once you understand how the tools should be working together and not competing with each other, it makes the goal simple, right? I want to help you stop guessing and actually start building something that makes sense, right? So in episode 3, here's what I'm going to do. If this episode resonated with you at all, it's because you're not broken, right? The strategy just needs structure. In the next episode, we're going to talk about why 90% of affiliate marketers never make consistent money, right? That's what we're all after, is the consistency. And why the other 10% understand that most people never get shown strategy, right? Most people, the 10% that are making money consistently, the 10% of affiliate marketers that actually stay with one thing, like you all see me around, I'm with the same thing. I'm not going anywhere because it's making me a ton of money. And the reason that it makes me a ton of money is because I understand it as the foundation and I found the tools that support it, right? So 90% of people don't become successful with affiliate marketing because they never figure that out, right? They're never shown, they don't have anybody tell them, and not everybody can just figure this stuff out on their own. Guys, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on side hustles, and I spent thousands of hours trying to make things work. And I got so tired of spinning my wheels, I stopped. I just stopped, and I looked at everything that I did, and that's when I figured this stuff out. So that's what I want to go over in future episodes. I'm gonna try to help you understand why the strategy needs structure, and we're gonna break it down piece by piece. So make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you're following me. And I'll see you in the next episode. It's going to be episode 3, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to put together a really good episode 3 for you. I don't have it written yet, but I'm going to. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow me. And I'll see you in the next episode of the Digital Web Kings podcast.